be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. When the days for Jesus being taken up were fulfilled, he resolutely determined to journey to Jerusalem, and he sent messengers ahead of him. On the way, they entered a Samaritan town to prepare for his reception there, but they would not welcome him, because the destination of his journey was Jerusalem. When the disciples, James and John, saw this, they asked, "Lord, do you want us to call down fire from heaven to consume them?" Jesus turned and rebuked them, and they journeyed to another village. As they were proceeding on their journey, someone said to him, "I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus answered him, "Foxes have dens and birds of the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to rest his head." And to another he said, "Follow me." But he replied, "Lord, let me go first and bury my father." But he answered him, "Let the dead bury their dead, but you go and proclaim the kingdom of God." And another said to him, "I will follow you, Lord, but first let me say farewell to my family at home." To him Jesus said, "No one who sets a hand to the plow and looks to what was left behind is fit for the kingdom of God." The Gospel of the Lord. Well, good morning. It is very good to see you. Thank you for your support. Listen carefully. We're living in very difficult times, and there are a lot of negative feelings and actually angry feelings around us because of various rulings that have taken place. Reason has to take over, but someone, a writer said recently, or commentator said recently, reason has broken down in the Western world, and I agree with that. But these words I thought would fit for you and me during these difficult days of whatever is going to happen. In the Gospel, you notice how James and John reacted to the rejection of Jesus and his message. They were, I guess we would call them front men. They were going ahead of Jesus to prepare for his coming so that people would show up. There's nothing wrong with that. But they got rejected in the Samaritan town. Samaritans and Jews were very, very bitter enemies, all over an idea. So James and John were saying, let's get even. Let's have fire and brimstone come down on them. Let them have it. Loose translation. And for many people, the first reaction to rejection or criticism or disagreement is to retaliate. True? I think so. Instinctively, we will defend ourselves physically if we feel like we're being attacked. Like sometimes in the spring, a blue jay might come down and swirl around your head because he thinks that's a good place for a nest, and you're going to be doing this, or there's a mosquito in front of your eyes, you're going to do that, or a bee, you swat it away, or try to. Somebody once said, "Gee, I was wondering why the baseball was getting so big." Then it hit me. So, to defend ourselves is normal. We don't have to be passive. Could if you want, but when we're attacked verbally, we want to choose. The retaliation effort is usually an attempt to hurt the attacker by using offending speech, just like they did. We want revenge for their insults. We want them to feel the pain that they inflicted. That's what James and John wanted in this gospel. Bring down fire on them. All that because they had a door slammed in their face. But Jesus had told them earlier how to handle rejection. You can look it up in Luke's Gospel, chapter 9, verse 5. He told them to move on, shake the dust from your sandals, and forget about it. But James and John quickly forgot about that good counsel. They wanted to wipe out that entire village because the door was slammed in their face. Such is the nature of retaliation and revenge. Retaliation and revenge seldom settles for evening the score. Look at the violence in the Middle East. Look at the violence in Ukraine. Look at all the civil wars that Africa has gone through. And even worse, we can look at most of our big cities in the United States where there are wars between gangs and criminals and all sorts of problems happening. But Jesus knew the end product of retaliation and revenge. It's a dead end where everyone loses. And here's the difficult message. Jesus had a new approach. The way of transforming love. We've heard this time and time again. It's so easy to forget. But this is the crucial point that Jesus wants us to remember. God is not the enemy of our enemy. He is the Creator. We may feel that our retaliation is justified. After all, we're hurt. We have to make things even. However, God's way always seeks to find a way of reconciliation. Should be our way. That's what Jesus is telling us. God is in the business of transforming enemies into allies, competitors to companions, strangers into family. This is the only way to ultimately end and rid the world of enemies. Wonder when the world's going to get that message. But to do this, a more powerful force must be unleashed into the world than the power of retaliation and revenge. And it is the power of Christ's love. Jesus hung on the cross before his Roman executioners and said these words, "Father, forgive them." Where's the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church these days? Yeah, Rome, where the executioners came from. With Jesus' words of forgiveness and by his undying love, everyone who has hands clenched around the hammer and nails of hatred can be transformed, are transformed, if they let the Lord in. It's very interesting to note that in chapter 8 of the book of Acts, in the New Testament. Chapter 8, verse 4 through 8. The entire Samaritan village and an entire Samaritan village comes over to the faith. And guess what? They need more help, the disciples there. And so John, the one who was so interested in frying everybody, was sent. And he helped confirm the faith there. God did not send a bolt of lightning. He sent forgiveness for faith.